And we are back. Home Track Heroes here on CW11 as we've got an exciting Northwest Motorsport Street Stock main event to finish up. 50 laps to go for our Speedway Chevrolet. Pro Late Models, the second one of the night. This segment brought to you by HCI Steel Buildings. The pre-engineered commercial buildings, kits, metal carports, RV and boat covers, storage facilities manufactured in Arlington, Washington. HCI Steel Buildings, a great place if you need to have a building built. Okay, Tom, let's kind of set it up as we've got 6 laps to go here as we're working 5 to go. We're on lap 25. But it's been a crazy race.
It has. It's been a little bit of a rough race, too. Some torn up race cars. I don't think this thing's over. The tempers seem to be just a little bit ragged right now. So we're going to see we've got 6 laps to go. As they come off at turn 4, they should see the green flag for the Northwest Motorsport Street Stock Division.
And a great start by the 44 of Marthaller. There's Jesse Jensen on the inside, 10 Lindgren up on the outside. That 88 car has been off the track. It's been on the track. It has kind of climbed up the side of one car, just kind of in the wrong spot at the wrong time. But it's fast, obviously. It looks like they didn't quite like that start, so it looks like they'll rack them up again. But there's a great shot of the 88.
Lindgren's passed more cars today than anybody in the field. He's passed a lot of cars. I'm sure some of the drivers are going, how many times can that car go by us? But he has passed a boatload of race cars today.
You know, you had talked about it in the previous segment before we went to break about how impressed you were with the 45 of Nick Beecher, that young man just keeps hanging in there lap after lap after lap, and he's one of those. We were talking about Dylan Bewald in our mini stock main event. Nick Beecher's got to win one of these things too, just to kind of justify all the hard work that he's put into it. But just an absolute student of the game, like most of these guys are.
You're right. Right now, I'd like to be able to see the flagman because I'm guessing he's giving some lectures while not using any words, just the motions of his hand, what he's doing with the flags. Drivers understand when the flagman's running out of patience with them.
Very impressed with that number 30 car, too, of Jeff Miller. I just absolutely love that body style. It's just enough old school. And I believed, and someone correct me if I'm wrong at some point, but I think that might have been the car that Dave Lynn drove last year. I think I've heard that, but I may be wrong.
Dave Lynn's car is the Jay Grant car this year. So.
Oh, it is.
But we're back to green flag.
All right, here we go. Mike Marthaller with working lap number 25 with Lindgren up on the outside, Jensen down the inside as they are rocketing down into turn number 3. Good run by Jake Grant in that 19 car as well, as that young man has kept his nose clean as the lap's winding down on our Northwest Motorsport Street Stock main event. And Lindgren really doing well in that middle groove. It's kind of cool to see a guy run that groove, and that's obviously where that car wants to go.
A lot of good race cars, very, very competitive. And we have a spin off of turn 3-4.
That's the number 30 car of Jeff Miller, as he will take it and get that thing spun back around, and we'll get this thing back underway in just a couple of seconds. Really impressed too by the run of Mark Hubbard in the number 41 car. He won our main event a couple weeks ago when the Northwest Motorsport Street Stocks were out here, and kind of continuing on with that. Got to be so much fun to be racing with his son Colin.
You bet. As you can see, the lights are out in the pace car, so they should get the green flag this time with just 5 laps to go and a very, very competitive field. So 5 laps, you're going to have to jump on it, get it done quickly, and if you see an opening, you're going to have to take it, whether it's wide enough or not.
Another guy we haven't talked about very much, but look who has kind of worked his way up into the 4th spot, and that's Cale Cheth in that number 23K car. So well done, Cale, as he has really improved a lot in this race, and looks like green flag back out, and we are back underway.
Another little bump there between the 3 and the 44. That's about the 3rd time that those 2 cars have gotten together today, so we'll have to watch that as Lindgren jump back into the lead.
Boy, and talk about being in the right spot at the right time. The number 88 car, as you see it cycle on our scoreboard here with lap number 27, 3 laps to go here at Northwest Motorsports Street Stock main event. Coming down to what I think is going to be a pretty exciting finish as Lindgren will take it out of turn number 4. Mike Marthaller in the 44 has in that solidly in the 2nd spot. Jesse Jensen, Cale Cheth And Colin Hubbard having a really nice run in that number 14 car as well. Marthaller took a look down on the inside as they came out of turn number 2, but it is all Ted Lindgren by about 2 car lengths here as we're going to wrap up lap 28. Should see the white flag next time by for the 88 of Lindgren.
Last time they ran, Lindgren said the car looks nice. It's just not fast. Obviously, they did something in the garage in the last few days to get that thing tuned up and ready to go. Still, like I said, car's bunched up tightly as they come down for the white flag. Just 1 lap to go.
There it is, white flag, as Tom mentioned, for the 88 car of Ted Lindgren. I noticed the body panel looks like a part of a fender coming up on the number 45 of Nick Beecher. We'll keep an eye on that as the laps are finally winding down, and it's going to be checkered flag and a caution flag at the same time. Good congratulations to the 88 car of Ted Lindgren as there's some incident we're going to go take a replay of as they come out. Oh, look at this. Oh, there goes the 45 and Nick Beecher as he just gets the nose ripped off that thing, and then he'll so a new nose time. J2 Racing Parts, that's where you can get noses for your new fenders, for your Camaros. So we're going to kind of take a cool down lap here. Again, your winner was...
Oh, look, there's the 41 44, in the back of the 3 car. Just keep this up, and I'm going to drop you off my Christmas card list.
So these two are going at it, Jesse Jensen and Mike Marthaller, and this kind of gives you an idea of how serious these guys are about what they're doing out here as... Jesse is crawling right along. Marthaller wants to get by. Let's see. Now, if you're in a situation like this, Tom, and you've got a lot of spotting experience, what are you telling your driver? Let's say you're spotting for Jesse Jensen right now. What are you telling him?
Well, there's 1 of 2 things happening. One, it's like, look, come on, use your head. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Oh, by the way, we're going to have to fix this race car. Or it could be the other one if you've got that spotter who's going, hey, rip the crap out of his car. You owe him one. So, but more likely than not, the spotter's trying to keep the driver under control. Are you okay? And when the driver's not talking to you, are you okay? Then you're in trouble.
Or you think he may have shut his radio
I had
off.
a driver one time. Are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine. I said, I thought you were okay. He said, I thought I was okay too. I guess I wasn't.
All right, let's see what happens here as I think we have got a microphone open. Looks like Kyler is down there with an open mic. Let's see what we can pick up here with Jesse Jensen and Mike Marthaller.
Beep, beep.
It's racing. You're supposed to go.
No, I need a size extra large for Christmas.
Now Marthaller gets out of the car trying to figure out what's going on.
Park your car. Disqualified.
You know they're not going to fight
No.
because they took their helmets off.
Yes,
If you're going to fight, leave your helmet on.
But yeah, that's we've seen this time and time again. Not quite this graphic. Great job by the editors
Absolutely.
of this. But and I'm not going to assign blame to Jesse or assign blame to Mike.
Mike Marthaller, you're able to lead quite a few laps out there, but then all of a sudden the 88 got a crazy restart. What did you need to get back by him?
Just seemed like towards the end of the race, my car kind of tightened up a little bit, but that's all right. I mean, from the way the day started, car definitely got better for the main event.
Who do you need to thank for getting you to second place today and leading quite a few laps?
Yeah, once again, I got to thank Direct Carpet Cleaning, Fleet Service, Auto and Truck Repair, J2 Racing Parts, and KH Suspension, and Finish Line Heating and Air Conditioning.
Mike Marthaller comes home P2 tonight. Wow, Ted Lindgren down here in Angel of the Winds, victory lane. Lap 2, you're off in the tires, and then later on you jump over a car, and you somehow parked it in victory lane.
We got a little, woo! Man, I don't know what got in people tonight, but that was interesting. That was a heck of a race. I got to keep this clean. Adrenaline's going right now. Car's pretty. Her lipstick's smeared a lot now, obviously. So, but she's getting quicker. Wow, what a race! What a race!
What does this race say for the 88 team and everyone that helps you out with this car?
Well, you do know what date it is today, right? It's 88, baby. So maybe it was meant to be. The stars lined up. Let me give a quick shout out to the sponsors real quick. My company, everybody know AIhair.com, but we do hair restoration. It's affordable, non-surgical. It's guaranteed in Linwood. AIhair.com. Don Sass, AMSOIL. We're getting quicker. Performance Loop Synthetics right to your door. So I've been passing on the wives, just saying the wives. I got to say their names. So my wife Paula, Jimmy, Cindy, Adam's wife is Jen. Thank you for letting us do what we do for the little time we can get out and play. It means a lot, and you guys aren't forgotten.
Ted Linger with a very up and down day somehow ends up in Angel of the Winds victory lane.
All right, there is my nominee for interview of the year right there. If you ever need a clinic on how to do this, people, back up and watch Ted Lindgren do it. Everybody got mentioned, thanking the people that he wanted to thank, and that was really well done.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, and the excitement, because as he said, you know, the car, good looking, just hasn't been fast. Figured that thing out, and as I said, he passed a load of cars today.
He did. All right, we've got one more 50 lap Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late Model Main coming up, and we're going to bring you the lineup here in just a second, and it is going to be the 98 of Greg Bennett on the front row, outside of Greg in the number 91, Rob Dees. The 7D of Dawson Cox inside second row, outside of Dawson is Cody Graham in the 9, Wyatt Gardner in car number 3, and Tanner Holm outside in the row number 3. We've got a couple of in-car cameras in row number 4, the 70 of Jeff Knight and the 18 of Tyson Lang.
In the next row back, it'll be the 16 car of Daniel Moore. Outside of him, in the 37D, Darrell Reddick, who won the first main event today. They're on the same tires that they ran the first 50 laps on, so these tires, by the time they get to lap 100, may just be used up. In the next row, it's the 74 car of Dan Beecher. Outside of him, the 12C of Chad Fitzpatrick, who ran really well in the first segment, had a little bit of problem and had to pull off. But rounding out the field in the 12B car, it'll be Michael Brooks. 50 laps. They will not count yellow flag laps. It's 50 green flag laps. And as I said, they're on the same 4 tires that they ran the first main event earlier today.
So what kind of advantage does a guy like Dan Beecher have, and even Chad Fitzpatrick have, because of the amount of laps they did not run on the first lap? How's that help?
You're right. There's a huge advantage, except only he has to start in the back. So, you know, it is what it is, but he's going to take advantage of it. Some great in-car footage right here.
They are back underway here, going down the back stretch as they're kind of sorting themselves out. That looks like that may be the 70 of Jeff Knight. It's hard to tell inside. If I had just a shot of the body, I could tell you. Trying to see if anyone else is around. There's the 48T of Tanner Holm. You just saw a great shot of the side of that car. And here comes Chad Fitzpatrick as we are coming out of turn number 4 under the watch flag. Great job by our officials tonight, too, especially after what they had to deal with in that street stock main event. But cool heads prevailed, and they'll go back and they'll get their differences ironed out and be back to racing another day. But
and I promise you, drivers never, ever forget. You never forget the driver who you think dirtied you. 20 years later, you'll still remember every one of them. But out front, it's Greg Bennett, the 98 car, followed by Dawson Cox in the 7D. Running third, the 70 car, Jeff Knight. And behind him is Cody Graham, who had kind of a tough go in the first 50 laps. I'm going to guess they made some good changes to that car, and he'll be a much improved race car this one.
There is Mr. Two-Time right there, Dario Reddick in the 37D car, as he is going to try and make his way through the field. Dan Beecher in the 74 right behind him. But, man, it is all GB up front in the 98. Good-looking run going down. And then we're going inside of the 7D of Dawson Cox right there. Sun's starting to take over, a little bit difficult. A lot of glare going down the backstretch, and fun to watch Dawson work the wheel.
You bet. And you can see each car has its own individual personality, where they place the tack. That little red dial you can see right by his right hand, that's that brake balance adjuster. In this car, it was red. The other car, it was silver. 2 different manufacturers.
And good battle side by side with Tanner Holm in that 48T. And the inside of, looks like Dawson Cox in the 70. So good battle by a couple of really good young drivers in a lot of good future ahead of them. Daniel Moore, the grizzled veteran. Daniel Moore, he's going to hate me for calling him that, but hey, it's what it is. What are you going to do? Back up front, Greg Bennett, who's been racing in late models here at Evergreen Speedway for many years in that 98. There's a good battle, too, with
Two
Tyson.
young kids, huh?
Yeah, Tyson Lang, and then look at Chad Fitzpatrick. Chad's having a phenomenal run in this one as we're coming up on lap number 9 is what they're on right now. We'll get lap number 10 coming up after this lap is over. But I'm really impressed with how that number 12 car is looking.
You're right, and he has started off in the Hornet division, did very, very well, had a street stock 1 in that class. I think he would probably say that the move to the late model has been far more difficult than they thought.
Yeah.
They have had some of the goofiest things go wrong with the race car, been in the wrong spot at the right time. I think if you talk to Chad over a cold beer, he'd probably tell you that he's been a little bit frustrated by, what's happened so far in his late model career. But it's Greg Bennett out front, and right now he's getting some pretty heavy pressure from the 70 car of Jeff Knight.
Jeff Knight taking a look down on the inside, and boy, did he make that one stick. Boy, Jeff just took a deep breath and nailed it and got around the number 98, and we have a new leader coming out of turn number 2, and that is that beautiful, brand new number 70 car of Jeff Knight. Greg Bennett moving back to the second spot. Impressed with Cody Graham in the 9 car as he's hanging in there tough in that third spot. Daniel Moore up in the top 5 as he always did. Tanner Holm rounding out in the 5th spot.
We talked about Jeff Knight and his struggles with that race car so far this year. Obviously, they made some changes between the first and second main event. Can't do a lot with tires, but they had to do it with other things. So it's shocks, it's sway bar, it maybe some other changes that they made to the chassis in terms of weight distribution. But if you watch that car, it's much improved. It's down on that white line, kind of stays all the way around, and much easier for Jeff to wheel.
Textbook pass by the 16 of Daniel Moore over the number 9 of Cody Graham as they went in on that last lap. New third place as Daniel Moore moving forward, and still Greg Bennett in second, followed ahead of Jeff Knight in the number 70 as we're at the lap number 16 point. Single file pretty much all over the racetrack. Look at Daniel Moore. Boy, he is just all over Greg Bennett's business as they come into turn number 2. Daniel Moore just hugging that bottom line. And as we go in, we'll have a new second place, the 16 of Daniel Moore.
You're right. And while you see just the driver most of the time, auto racing is a team sport. When you look at Cody Graham, who had a fairly difficult run in the first 50, that crew got together on that car. That thing is much improved, and he's doing a great job in the second 50-lap main event for the Speedway Chevrolet Pro Late models.
Great backstrut shot there you just saw a few seconds ago, and I absolutely love that camera placement. Really well done by the crew here on Home Track Heroes. We thank them for all the work they put in to put this show on the air, and along with everybody else. Sure appreciate you guys with all your great comments that you send us each and every week, and we really appreciate that a lot. It makes it worthwhile doing this. And as we're coming up, working lap number 20 out of 50 with Greg Bennett now. The car maybe starting to kind of go away on him a little bit, or is Greg just kind of thinking, man, what's going to happen next with this thing?
No, I think you're right. Probably the handling of the car just isn't what it should be. Is he seems to be kind of working his way back just a little bit under some pretty heavy pressure right now from Cody Graham. You can see Tyson Lang making his appearance in there. And right behind Tyson in the 18 car, that's that 12C of Chad Fitzpatrick.
Chad Fitzpatrick started at the pretty much back of the field, and he is slowly working his way through as we're working lap number 22. Still Jeff Knight leading for quite a bit. Greg Bennett led the first part of this event, and Jeff Knight now as he's preparing to get underneath the car and put him a lap down. But Jeff, obviously, got to be grinning ear to ear behind the wheel of the number 70. Is he thinking, man, maybe I finally got this thing figured out, because they've been putting a ton of work into it.
Knight has a interesting day job. He is the pastor of the Rock Church here in Monroe. Has done a lot of really, really good things for racing and the racing family in time of need. And if you want to have an interesting Sunday, head on over to the Rock Church right here in Monroe, and he does an absolutely wonderful job.
He does. Very impressive. And impressive, too, and keeping an eye on the 12C of Chad Fitzpatrick as he has gotten around Tyson Lang up into that third spot. Cody Graham still hanging in there in the top 5. Good run by the 9 of Graham. as these guys are all in the 17-second bracket. Jeff Knight with 17.646. Daniel Moore, actually the faster car out of those two, but is still having trouble trying to get up into that first spot. As we've got a spin, and that's Graham in the number 9, and we'll see a replay of that one coming up. We'll get that queued up, and here it is.
Yeah,
Boy.
Graham kind of down there filling a hole, and
Yeah.
Tyson was very, very patient with him and ended up making some contact.
All right, we'll get him racked up and be back after this.